Good morning, Jambo, hello, salam alaikum, namaste. Welcome to Ammijaan's kitchen, and today we'll add another greeting. We'll say ciao, Monia. Monia is my niece, and she has requested this next video that we're going to make today. So this is coconut chicken curry. I'm not quite sure where it originated, but it was something we made a lot in Africa. So today we're going to make coconut chicken curry with peas. So let's bring it in here and introduce you to the ingredients that you will need to make coconut chicken curry. So we have chicken breast here, washed, cut into not very tiny pieces, but decent sized pieces. A cup of just fresh frozen peas. We have garlic here. Actually, this is ginger and cilantro and chili. And then this is garlic separate today. And what I've done here is put just a wee bit of turmeric, a whole chili, a bit of salt, and these two combinations you see is our usual dana and jiru, which is cumin and coriander, and we've used this in a couple of videos now. And then a little bit here is a thickener, which we have also used in the chickpea video, is chickpea flour. So this is chana flour, and of course we're going to need a tin of coconut milk. So we're going to get started into making a coconut chicken peas curry. So the first step is to mix the ingredients in with the chicken. So we have all the spices we already discussed, and I'm going to start with the ginger and chili and cilantro. Now some people don't like cilantro, so by all means skip it. I love it, and especially when we make it in a coconut mixture, cilantro is our main spice. We call it a green spice. So there we are, that's the garlic and the turmeric. And then this was the dana and the jiru. And then we have here a salt and a chili. Now I prefer to leave the chili whole, and then that way people can take it out if they don't need to have that full heat in it. And that's the salt. So let's leave all these dishes to the side. And here we are, we're just gonna mix it up. It's just a gentle coating. My ginger is a little bit frozen right now, but that's okay. The idea is to coat each piece nicely, and then we are going to cook it. And that's going to be our next step. So we'll get there. So there we are. So that's going to be mixed up all nice and ready. And in the meantime, we'll just do this little step here, and that's take a little bit of coconut milk. It's thicker on the top, but it's more liquidy at the bottom. So you could mix the whole thing up. But all you want is a teaspoon right now in here, or a bit more, doesn't matter. You're going to add it all up together anyways and make this into a paste. So now we have a chickpea coconut paste, which will be introduced later when we are cooking. So this step is finished, and we'll take it over to the next step. So our next step is to add the oil. Now here what I have done, and I learned this trick from my sister in Italy, is whenever she made parmigiana, she always coated or covered the pan with a parchment paper. So that's what I've done, and I'm going to drizzle a little bit of olive oil. You know my usual olive oils, you're familiar with it by now. I keep topping it up, and this is just a chili one. You can do whatever kind you like. Just a little bit of a drizzle. The heat is nice and high. Please watch that you don't burn the parchment paper. It will brown up, of course, as it cooks, but you don't want the flames licking on the side to get it. And now we're going to put the pieces of chicken. This amount of chicken for us today is for 3 people, maybe with a little bit of leftover for the next day. It all depends on a person's appetite. I'm just going to wait for this to heat up a bit. That's looking good right there. I can see it bubbling over, the spice. So I'm going to start laying the pieces of chicken. The idea of what we're doing here is browning the chicken, not enough to cook it. It's almost really not even so much browning as searing it. You almost want to seal that flavor, and then we'll introduce the coconut sauce to it, or rather it to the coconut sauce. But we'll get to that step when the time comes. Right now, let's just work on this piece at a time. There we are, and I'm just going to dump these out, and I can spread them later. I'm going to hold back the chili for a minute because I don't want it to get strong and smelling and hard to ingest the smell here. So the chili is left out. You can see it's starting to bubble. There we are. And we're just going to see how the parchment helps to keep it nice. And we'll continue cooking like this, and we'll come back for the next step. So here it is. You can see it's starting to get that little bit of color. It's by no means cooked. As you can see, it's quite raw. The beauty of it is it will now finish cooking in the coconut sauce. So you get that full coconut flavor with it. Now this one can be served in a couple of ways. You could even, for a very simple solution, is served with a nice French bread or some nice crispy rolls. Traditionally, it is served with, as I was saying, it's sort of an African/Indian dish. So traditionally it is served with an African donut, which is called mandazi, which we'll get into, hopefully, in the next video, Monia, and maybe you can try that as well. So we're going to turn this off, or actually I'll leave it on a minimum for a minute. I'm going to turn this one on minimum now. With coconut, remember, it's minimum. We don't ever cook coconut on a high heat. That doesn't work with coconut milk. Now remember, I said the bottom of this might be liquidy, so we're just going to pour it all in, and you can see the liquid come out there. You see all that liquid now? So that's all it is, and I'm just going to clean this out because there's a lot of thick sauce still stuck on the sides. So we'll get the best out of that, and we're going to bring this on a low heat cook. So that's the sauce. You can just kind of see, nothing special about it. It's just coconut milk. I like this particular brand, but honestly, there is so many out there, and some of you being in a different place may not even get the same one. So whatever you can find is good. We're going to turn this right off. I'm just going to move it to the side, and let's concentrate on this for now. So we've got it on minimum heat, and I'm going to throw that green chili, which I didn't put in there, in here now. And then this is where we put in our paste. Do you remember this coconut thickener paste that we made? We're going to put that in. Why we put it in right away and early is we want the flour inside to cook. You don't want to have that raw taste of the flour. Now right now the whole ball here looks quite white and colorless, but remember, we are going to be adding all our, let's get this out of the way. There, we are going to be adding all the chicken in there. So that beautiful color, that little bit of turmeric that you had in the mixture will give this a color. The salt is already in there, the garlic is there, the ginger is there, so all the spices in there. We're just going to stir this up a little bit, let it come to a heat, and I'm not actually going to wait for it to boil. I'm just going to go ahead and put all the chicken in here. I'll wait for the peas a little bit because they cook very fast. So let's get the chicken cooking, and then we'll come back and see how and when we add the peas. So basically, very simply, don't lose all your nice little drippings. Please use them as well. And we're just going to transfer this into here. Okay, I don't know if there's an efficient way of doing it, but I was just going to tip it. That's the beauty of the parchment paper. You see, that can just be taken away. And now here we have it. See the beautiful color that's starting to come? And I'm just going to give it, I don't like to mush the chicken too much. So I'm going to do this, give it a good old coat. And at this point, we'll leave it alone for it to cook and let it transfer the color. We have been cooking this for around 20 minutes to 25 minutes. So we've uncovered it. By the way, we cooked it covered. So here we are. You can see that little bit of brownness on the chicken. Make sure the chicken is cooked. The sauce is thickening up nicely. You don't want it too thick. You don't want it like a thick gravy. You want it to be a nice, not too runny, but a nice thickness. And there we have it. You can see a little bit of the color happening. We're going to add the peas now. And since the peas don't take very long, see that nice blend of green now into the yellow. It's just beautiful. And of course, for garnish, we always have cilantro, and that sort of sets it off too. At this point now, because the peas are not going to take long to cook, we basically just turn it right off. But a person who's going to work could do this far, turn it off, and when you come back, just as you're getting ready to sit down and eat, you turn this back on minimum and leave it for a good 5, 7 to 10 minutes to come up to a nice, low, gentle boil. Again, as we said before, we never heat it on a high heat, and it can be served with bread, with Indian chapati. There is Indian parathas that are very well known with it. They go very nicely. And then, of course, don't forget that African donut, which is mandazi, that's made with coconut. And talk about overloading on coconut. So that we'll have to do mandazi one day, because mandazi can also be eaten as a breakfast. So here we are. This is from Monia. You have your coconut chicken curry with peas. The peas give it a nice green color and breaks up the yellow and the dullness of it all. So please enjoy, and don't forget to share and subscribe. Thank you very much, and thank you again for joining me on Ammijaan's Kitchen. Have a good day. So here we are. You can actually see the beautiful color. Unfortunately, my pot was white. That was a ceramic pot. I like to use it, but oh my goodness, you couldn't see the beautiful color of the chicken. So I've transferred it to give you the exact look of what it should look like. I didn't want to take away from that beautiful, lovely color that I'm seeing and you're not seeing. So there we are, all done, ready for supper. Enjoy.